Should a tablespoon of cocaine equate to a life in prison? It's actually a very good question, and I have to give kudos to the local NBC affiliate over in Fort Myers for actually even covering this. I'm actually quite surprised, but you don't see the mainstream excuse of a media, joke of a media picking this story up. You don't see Fox or the national affiliates talking about this. No, because they want to support the retarded war on drugs. This guy's been in jail since the 90s, and he's in prison for life for nothing more than small drug offenses. And I say very small. It's not like he was trafficking cocaine for a cartel or anything like that. And you go over to it's NBC-2.com is the web address. You guys can't see it. I had to look up and read it for you. It's NBC-2.com is the NBC affiliate down here. Or you can just look up, should a tablespoon of cocaine equate to life in prison? Go read the article. Share this original article. Well, normally I don't. You won't hear me telling you to go out and share mainstream articles and stuff like that. But in this case, I want people to share this because it comes from a mainstream source. It doesn't come from, Federal Jack or whatever other website. It's coming from a mainstream source, and you can use this and say to your friends and family, look how insane this is. This guy got in trouble for some cocaine back in the 90s, and he's in jail for life. And the only way he's going to get out is if they pardon him. This is another reason, by the way, that the war on drugs is just literally insane. But let me play this audio clip for you so you can hear the story. Let's check it out.
A Lee County man sits in prison tonight 20 years after he was caught with a small amount of cocaine. Convicted killers have spent less time behind bars.
Now his family's fighting to get him out, and even the prosecutors who put him behind bars agreed the sentence was too much. NBC2 investigator Dave Elias uncovered what some are calling a major flaw in our justice system. Dave.
Well, that's right, Kelly. Peter, Michael Edwards received 60 years in prison back in 1994 after his third nonviolent drug offense. Now, when all is said and done, he'll cost taxpayers more than $1 million.
For the sake of our children, I implore each of you to be unyielding and inflexible.
You will be put away and put away for good.
It was the early 90s, and Americans were adopting tough new policies on crime.
3 strikes and you are out.
Courts locking people up and essentially throwing away the key after their third offense.
He's never been sentenced to any type of drug treatment program. He never was ever offered an opportunity to get help for his addiction.
Mimi Edwards' brother Michael had been charged twice with cocaine possession in the early 90s.
I didn't know what it looked like, much less that he was involved.
His mother clueless to how serious her son's problem was until his third strike.
In 1993, I sold a small quantity of cocaine to my ex-girlfriend to supply my past addiction.
A half an ounce, or $850 to be exact. The state offered a deal, plead guilty, and serve 15 years.
When I saw that, I just thought, well, you know what? Maybe I should just go ahead and go to trial with this thing and see if I can win.
It was literally a roll of the dice.
I never expected that they were going to give me 60 years. As of today, I have served over 20 years in prison for these charges. My current release date is December of 2043. If you do not commute my sentence, I might have to serve another 29 years in prison.
The same year Edwards was sentenced, this man went to trial. John Pike was found guilty of shooting his son-in-law 7 times, killing him. He was given 20 years and is already out of prison.
If somebody can look at me straight in the face and tell me that's fair, then something's definitely wrong.
State attorney at the time, Joe D'Alessandro, argued for the sentence.
And that was hailed in the community as a teach him a lesson.
But now?
The only hope he has is a governor commuting his sentence or giving him a pardon.
What would you say to the governor?
Let him go home. Let him out. He served his time.
Will you consider clemency for Michael Edwards?
The way the process works is he's going through the clemency process. It's based on state law. They'll do an investigation, then they'll present it to the cabinet, and we'll make a determination.
The clemency board meets in June. It's not clear if they'll consider Michael's case.
How much more time do I need to do to pay my debt to society?
Now, if Michael Edwards was sentenced under today's drug guidelines, he'd receive an average 6 years in prison. Without a pardon or a commuting of his sentence, he could still appeal, but that's going to take years, and it could cost the family hundreds of thousands of dollars. Kelly?
Dave, your heart breaks for his mother. Are cases like this rare, or have you heard about other cases like Michael's?
You know, digging through records, I actually found 2 other Florida inmates serving life sentences for drugs. Now, it's so serious around the country that President Obama has used his pardoning powers to free many of those serving life for drugs in federal prisons.
Just insane. Why is this guy in prison still for possession of cocaine? Even if he was selling a small little dime bag or a 20 bag, whatever, and some undercover cop bought it and he got arrested for it, or whatever the case may be. Even if he sold a little bit to an ex-girlfriend. Really? 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 He's cost the taxpayers over $1 million. No, actually, I shouldn't put it like that. It's not he's cost. The private prison industrial complex that houses him has cost the taxpayer over $1 million. For what? Think about the insanity of that. We're spending over $1 million of our money to punish this guy for having a little bit of coke. You could have sent the dude to rehab when he had an issue back in the day. Even current sentencing guidelines wouldn't have put him in jail for life. Well, then again, there's always the 3 strikes rule and you're out policy, which everybody hailed, that'll stop crime. No, stupid, it won't stop crime. It'll just put more people in jail and make more money for the private prison industrial complex. The United States of America has 1/4 of the world's jail population. That means 1 out of every 4 prisoners in the world is in jail in the United States of America. Still think we're free? Still think we live in a free country? Wrong. We don't live in a free country. Again, should a tablespoon of cocaine equate to life in prison? Go over and share this article. Share this video. Share this report. This guy shouldn't be in jail. And people need to call up the Capitol. They need to call up, get a hold of the governor. And they need to keep pushing for this guy. Somebody needs to stand up for him. He's been thrown away in jail, and he'll rot. He's getting older. Who cares? He's been in jail for too long. How about letting him out so he can see his family? Would you want to be rotting away in a jail cell for life? For a stupid, minuscule little mistake? Well, we've got to be hard on criminals, Popeye. Really? So this guy goes to jail for life for a little bit of coke, and all the dirtbags on Wall Street are still walking around. I haven't seen one banker get arrested. They literally stole trillions of dollars. All this money gone. People's lives ruined. They lost their houses. They lost their shirts. 90-year-old guy lost all of his money. In one case, had to go start bagging groceries. All these people that were affected, actually really affected, negatively, across the board, like real criminal acts. Nope. These scumbags walk around free and clear. This poor guy has a little bit of coke, and he actually has an addiction, a problem, and rather than actually curing the problem or dealing with the problem, no, we can't do that. They just lock him up and throw away the key. And of course, they'll keep him there because it generates money for the private prison industrial complex. We need to relook at the war on drugs and end it because it's retarded and hasn't worked. 50 years of garbage, get rid of it. The war on drugs is a joke. Okay? Get rid of it. Hasn't done anything. Well, it's not really 50 years. It's like 40-something years. But the point, you get my point. The war on drugs is an abysmal failure and a joke. It hasn't served any purpose, really. It hasn't. What has it accomplished? It certainly hasn't done anything good. It hasn't stopped the flow of drugs. I mean, let's be honest, if they really wanted to stop the flow of drugs and cocaine into the country, they would stop the CIA. They would close down the CIA, and that would close a lot of cocaine and drug trafficking portals into the country. They don't. And it's not just them, it's other agencies too. The DEA is run drugs for the cartels. Go do your homework. Just go on your favorite search engine of choice and start looking things up. Look up DEA runs drugs. Don't see those guys going to jail. They smuggle cocaine in. They're actually agents that are breaking the law with bundles of cocaine. I don't see them in jail for life. Unacceptable. This guy's a casualty of the war on drugs. This is actually a perfect example of why the war on drugs is ridiculous and not winnable. It's a perfect example of how it's destroying people's lives. Even the prosecutor, the guy that put him away and, pushed for this sentencing on him years ago, is now saying to the governor, pardon him, let him out. He did his time. This is ridiculous. This is insane. Wow. Maybe we should pay attention, Anyway, spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. This poor guy, Michael Edwards, has been in jail since 1994 for something that, again, in today's standards, he would have been in jail for like 6 years and then they would have released, and that's it. Just the three strikes rule, the war on drugs, and then the private prison industrial complex. All three major players here, at least as I see it. And I think we really need to rethink things. Again, 1 in 4 prisoners in the world is incarcerated in the United States of America. Go look it up. It's a factual, real statistic. 1 in 4 prisoners in the world locked up in the United States of America. I'm going to include in the description a link to this article with the video. Share it, spread it all over. Tell people about this. If you live in Florida, call the governor's office, send them emails, call the state capitol, email your representative. Come on. I understand everybody down here is against, drug trafficking and everything else, but I think we can all agree that this is a bit archaic and a bit out of hand, and that the guy really did pay his debt to society for being a bad drug addict. I mean, not that we couldn't have put him in rehab, but okay. Okay. He's paid his debt. Maybe we can let him out and let him see his family, huh? Or now it's just getting to the point where it's cruel and unusual punishment. Anyway, thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Follow me over on Twitter, at DTRH_Popeye, at DTRH_Popeye, and my other account, at FederalJack. I urge you to sub to both of them. You can find me over on Facebook, fan page, FedJack, or I also have an account, Popeye DTRH, and of course, you can always hear me 4 nights a week on federaljack.com or truthfrequencyradio.com. That is the network I'm on, Truth Frequency Radio, Tuesday through Friday, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time, my radio show, Down the Rabbit Hole with Popeye. Thank you all for listening. Help this man out. We need to help get Michael Edwards some attention, and hopefully he will get pardoned and released from jail, and we can help him get back home to his family. Let's make a positive change, ladies and gentlemen, and let's end the absurd war on drugs. As I always say, the solutions to our problems are an inside job. I love you all. I'm out of here.